Lincoln Park has always gotten me through some of the darkest times of my life, and that's no different today with the things that I'm facing, with the things that I'm going through. Just days before Chester Bennington's death was announced, or even on the day, if not before, a new song was released by them called Talking to Myself. I felt so connected to that song when I first heard it. And I couldn't explain why. I thought it had a lot to do with my son Josh and him no longer wanting to be a part of my life. But now I realize that the words are so true that I can whisper, I can yell. But the truth is, I'm really just talking to myself. When I do these videos, I'm really talking to me. And that was so evident the day that I watched my own video about what my dad did to me and how it changed me as being a mother and being better, a better person, not just for me and for my family, but for Tavin specifically. And now here I find myself after that experience and finding so much comfort in knowing that I could learn something so great and take it to a different level, to a different place, a good place, and help change my life and the life of my son. And then my world was ripped apart again. And I realized just how much that song really meant to me and why it was going to play such an important role in my life. When you leave me, where do you go? Is one of the lines. Some of you read my post on Facebook, and Jared is still home. I thought I could do this. I thought I could handle this. I thought I was okay. I thought I had put it in God's hand and I wouldn't be angry. I didn't feel angry. I felt confused at first. I felt sorry for him. But then last night when we were alone, we were supposed to go to a counseling meeting with one of his leaders from a faith that he believes in. And I do not, but I was willing to go with him. So we dropped off Tavin at a friend's house so that we could go early and possibly try to talk some things out. And we did. But the more that it sunk in what was happening and what had happened, the angrier I became. And today I am lost. I am trapped in this pain and I'm restless and I'm fearful and I'm just so angry. And I'm afraid of this anger because this is something I never expected. I got out of a very abusive relationship when I moved to Chicago. He had been cheating on me with his ex-girlfriend and was a drug abuser and an alcoholic and tried to kill me. Some people know that, some people don't. And it's that very relationship when Josh, my oldest son, decided to leave me. He decided that he was not going to live in a house like that because he watched my ex-husband try to kill me. Fortunately, he was there and tried to stop it. But it was that day, later on in the day, I lost everything that day. Josh decided he was going to leave and he went and moved with my mom. And at the same time, my husband at the time left too and said that he wasn't going to live with Josh. So it was this catch-22. And now I know most of you are going, oh, I would have chose my kid any day. Well, yeah, that's easy to say in hindsight. And I knew that was the right decision for me to do. But when you've been beaten down so long, all your life, you feel like that's what you deserve. And Josh was no angel. I mean, my mom had already took him away from me years and years ago when he was 7 years old. So it was no surprise that eventually he was going to leave me anyways to go live with my mom and have the life that he wanted because she would give him anything and everything that he desired. So when I left and I went to Chicago, my goal was to make peace with God and peace with myself and to let go of this desire to be married and to be in a relationship. And I came to this great place with God where I really said, if I'm not meant to be married and I'm not meant to be loved, I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that as long as you heal this in my life and make me okay. And it was after that where I felt this peace and I felt good about me. For the first time in my life, I felt good about myself without anybody needing to make me feel good. It was just me. And then Jared came along. And long story short, I thought it would be different. Jared has lied to me so many times in his life, but that is how his family was raised. I make excuses for it, maybe. Maybe I justify it because that's all he's known is lies and excuses for their behavior. But there was a lifestyle that was glamorized. His father came out and told him and his family when they were all impressionable that he had lived this homosexual lifestyle. And he glamorized it. He made it seem so amazing and tempting and beautiful and wonderful and tantalizing and thrilling that half of the siblings went out and pursued that lifestyle. And in the process of meeting his family has dumped on me all of their problems, all of their pain, all of their heartache, and I have taken it on as my own. I have carried their heavy burdens with me for so long because I wanted to be their family and I wanted to love them and encourage them and support them and help them anytime that they needed. And I did. I was there for every single one of them when they needed it. But when I needed it, I got dumped on. The minute I got done helping them and they got on their feet, I was all of a sudden the outcast and I was treated so badly. Jared claimed for a long time that it bothered him what his family did to me. He even said he hated him and would rather not be part of that family if they couldn't accept me and love me. So through all the things that I've gone through with Jared and all the lies that I've caught him in, I kept telling myself why I stayed was because that's all I knew. And so I just kept trying to help him through that. And I stayed even though lying is one of the biggest things that I feel like I just can't deal with. But I stayed. because they were piddly, stupid things, except for when I found out he was drinking. And that was shortly after Tavin was born. After Tavin was born, our relationship was never the same. And I don't blame Tavin, but in some sense I can't help but blame him. Because it was him that tore me and Jared apart. Because Tavin had so many problems. He just never stopped crying. He never slept. So Jared and I never slept. And we had to listen to this crying baby all the time. And all we ever did was try to make Tavin feel better or get him to stop crying. And that went on for years. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. If it wasn't colic, it was teething. If it wasn't teething, it was this tummy problem that he had for 2 years. And the tummy problem was the worst when he screamed and yelled all day, every day, for 2 years straight. So that put a great strain on our relationship. And he started drinking during that period of time. And I caught him because the Lord showed me where to look, just like the Lord showed me where to look the other day. I have told Jared time and time again, you can never hide anything from me because God will always reveal to me what you're doing. I don't know if that's a gift or a curse, what God has given me. Because it's painful to learn the truth. The truth does hurt. But I've told Jared time and time again that I'd rather know the truth than to find it out on my own and be lied to. And he's been telling me for years, okay, I promise, I promise, I promise. But something different happened. Something in my spirit has been restless for years. I've known something was off with Jared and I could never put my finger on it. I kept making assumptions and I've told close friends what I felt, what I thought, what I was nagging at my spirit. But I didn't want to believe it. Because I couldn't believe it. And I knew deep down in my soul that Jared would never cheat on me. I just knew that even with all the lies and everything else that I have caught him doing, I could be rest assured that he'd never cheat on me. It was the only peace I had in this marriage, knowing that while we have little itty bitty things that are stupid and silly, I knew he'd never cheat on me. I could never imagine him because he told me I was his dream girl that he had been dreaming of since he was a kid. I believed it. I believed it. But something always nagged at me that it wasn't me, that it was a lie. Because how could I trust a liar to tell me that it was me? Maybe I'm part of the problem, I don't know. I just know what I feel in my spirit, and I act on it. So the other day, I had this terrible dream right as Jared got home. I had a dream he left me. I had a dream that his whole family was so happy. I remember trying to call him and tell him I love him and I wanted him back and I missed him. And I was so alone in this dream. I was so empty. And everybody kept telling me, you need to let him go because he's gone. He's moved on. He's got a whole new life. He's got new children and a whole new family. And at that time, Jared walked in to the bedroom. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I remember looking at the clock. And I said, hi. And he ignored me. And I repeated it and I said, hi. And he said, hey. And that was it. He didn't respond to me anymore. Now, usually he would get excited that I was up. He would say, hey, what are you doing up? And then he'd come in and lay in bed with me and we'd talk and laugh. And this time he got in bed and just completely ignored me. And started looking at his phone. I just felt like something was on there that I needed to know about. So when he went to sleep, I grabbed his phone and I went downstairs and I started digging. And I found nothing. That's when I knew something was wrong. When I couldn't find anything. When everything was being hidden. When I had noticed that there was nothing on his phone, that's when I knew something was wrong. He had been deleting everything, making sure that I would never find anything. He used to have a lock on his phone so I couldn't get in. And one day I said, why do you need a lock on your phone? And he played it off that he didn't. But he had been having conversations with his family members, even though he had been telling me that he was so mad at them for the way that they treated me. So that was one thing that I found out during that time. And I let it go. It hurt me because it felt like a betrayal. But it's his family, and what can I say? How many times have I forgiven my father for the things that he's done? So I let it go. From that point on, he never had a lock screen again. And he would tell me, I don't have a lock screen on, so you can get on my phone anytime you need. Which also meant that he had to be diligent in deleting anything he was doing, conversations he was having, whatnot. So when I went on his phone on Friday, I found nothing. I went into his emails, found nothing. And then I saw that he had a bunch of drafts in his email box. And I looked at them, and that's when it all fell apart. That's when I found out that he was attempting to cheat on me by looking on Craigslist. It gets deeper and uglier than that. Because there's more to that story than I'm telling and that I will tell. Because it's humiliating for me and it's embarrassing for my husband. And I'm not trying to protect him. It's just something that he's trying to deal with and come to terms with. So I found that he was prepared to cheat on me back in May, 5 days before my birthday. And that's when I knew I had to dig deeper, that I had to keep pushing and keep looking. And so I went into his history on the internet. I just wanted to see what was going on, because when I put in the links to the Craigslist, it scared me. And that's when I knew I had to dig deeper and find out what was going on. And things started making sense to me. Why our marriage was so complacent, I guess is the word. I felt like I was living with my best friend. We had small issues, but weird issues that happened at our last place. Our life at the Buellers was hell on earth. And that's when this all started. I told Jared that I felt that place was cursed. And now I believe it with my whole heart, especially knowing that a lot of this took place there. My whole life has been destroyed because of that place. As I dug deeper, I found that my husband has been involved in pornography, not just regular, everyday pornography. And again, that's not something I want to get too deep into because it's really not right. And it's something that Jared's trying to work on. And I could care less. I mean, I care about pornography because I don't like it and I think it's destructive to people's relationships and intimacy. It's the desire to want to go somewhere else, the need, the action. He had clicked on it. He was ready to cheat on me. I don't know how to deal with that. I wonder how I would feel if he had. It's just the knowledge of knowing he was so close to it. That he clicked the button several times. There were a few emails that he was ready to send and respond to, but he didn't. Now, everybody can say, but he didn't. But he didn't. He didn't act on it. Okay, he didn't. But he wanted to. He was going to. Isn't that enough? Jared used to always tell me the story about David and Bathsheba, about how his sin wasn't having the affair with her, but that he looked in the first place. That came from Jared. He's told me that his whole life. That's why I never believed he would cheat on me, because he knew how wrong it was just to even look. And throughout my whole marriage, I never looked. If I even saw an attractive man, I made sure to look away, not look at him, to be tempted by it. And when an ex-boyfriend came back into my life, we would have late night talks because he became a Christian, and we shared a lot of things about our life and how we came to know Christ, and a lot of things from our past came up and we talked about them. And I shared that with Jared. I never hid anything from him. And one of my best friends is someone I was engaged to when I was in my early 20s. And it was Jared's ex-boss. And he's the one who got him the job at Medline years ago. And when I have conversations with him, I told him everything. Or I'd show him the email. And he would say, "You don't have to." And I would say, "Yes, I do. I do have to, because you're my husband and I'm having a conversation with another man and you need to know every detail of it. Because then the enemy cannot have a stronghold on my life and hold it over me as if I'm lying to you or keeping something from you or keeping secrets. Because if I do that, before I know it, I will be tempted to go deeper if you don't want to know. I will feel like it doesn't matter whether I have an affair on you or not." And he understood and he thanked me. But his whole life has been a secret. I don't know Jared. I came to realize this on Friday, that I don't know my husband. I know things about him, but I don't know. I thought I did, but I don't. I don't know this person. And that is so heartbreaking. It's so painful to be married to someone for 10 years and not know them at all. talking to myself, because that's what I'm doing right now. When I stare into this camera, I'm staring at me sometimes, looking at me, looking at my face, into my eyes, because I know I'm really just talking to myself. I know that I'm not really heard. I know that I'm nothing and no one important. I know that my life has no meaning. I am just talking. All these videos I do, talking to myself. I try so hard to do good, to give of myself, to open myself up, to offer wonderful things through my homeschooling site, and I get nowhere. I spin my wheels and spin them. I keep trying to think of creative ways that will get people interested in the things that I have such a desire to share with them, and I get nowhere. I'm talking to myself. And I can't tell you how lonely it is to talk to yourself. And that's why I do these videos. People ask me, why do you share so much? Why? People don't like it that you share your heart so much. So I do these videos. I do them for me. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I do it for me because I have no one to talk to. I have my friend Anne, but the thing is that when you tell people what you're going through, they don't know what to say. They're horrified. They're confused. They're just as confused as I am. And all they can say is, I'm here if you need me. And that's wonderful. And I appreciate it. And I love you for it. But what are you there for? Because I don't know what I need. I need a lot of things and I don't know what it is. I don't know what they are. I don't know what I need. I need to not feel so empty inside. I need to not feel like nobody loves me. I need to not feel unworthy of love. I need to feel worthy. And I have been fighting for years for someone to just pay attention to me, to hear me, to want anything to do with me. Yeah, that's the reality, okay? Let's just finally get it out in the open. I'm seeking someone to find worth in me. And nobody wants it. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants what I have to offer, even if it's love and kindness and generosity. How many times I have just given things away because nobody wants what I have to offer, so I just try to give it to them. And I'm talking about my homeschooling things and my ideas that I've come up with, but I'm also talking about me. I used to give myself away because I was just looking for love, in hoping that if I gave myself so freely, maybe somebody would want me. And I got tossed away like yesterday's garbage. And I still am being tossed away. All the friendships that I've had over the years, they're all gone. These brand new friendships that I developed in homeschooling world, they're gone. Because nobody cared to understand me or to listen to me. And even throughout my whole life, when I try to tell people when they hurt me and I come out and I'm just want to get it out in the open and express myself and say, I'm not trying to do this to hurt you. I'm trying to work this through with you. People still don't like it. People don't like me. They don't like me because I'm very open and I'm very honest. And the reason for that is because I just would rather get it out in the open so that the enemy cannot have a grip on my life. Because if I let it fester, then I am going to turn into something ugly. It's one of the things I had to tell Tavin today. Through all of this, I've been working so hard on that relationship with him. And now this. I don't even want to hear his voice. I don't. I don't know how to respond to him right now. And I asked him today very nicely, please just let me have some time to myself today because I don't want to say or do anything I'm going to regret. But he didn't listen to me. He just kept nagging me, and I blew. What to say except for my own parents didn't love me. They didn't like me. Why did I ever think that anyone else would? My own parents couldn't love me. How could I expect anyone else to? So I'll face this alone because nobody knows how to handle it. Nobody knows how to deal with it. I don't even know how to deal with it. I was supposed to go with Jared for counseling this morning. I didn't go. I didn't want to. I don't want to hear it all over again. I just, I, I just don't know how to love this person because that's the reality is that I don't know this person. I don't think I ever knew Jared. I think I just had a good date. I think he did everything right. And he fooled me into believing that I was his dream come true. And over the years, he has proven that he doesn't know how to treat me properly. He doesn't know how to treat me well. I've been hiding all of that deep down inside. And all of you have been fooled by him too. When I try to tell you all of this, all of you say, no, he loves you. All the things that he says about you. Jared's a liar. And he comes from a family of actors. Theatrics. It's all about the show. It's all about the show. And we've all been duped and fooled. And I don't know what to do with that. The truth is, you turned into someone else. You keep running like the sky is falling. I can whisper, I can yell, but I know, I know I'm talking